Then it's hard to cover MLB stuff like more than a couple days in advance. I mean, like not in advance, but in retrospect. So I'll just kind of cover some stuff from last night and yesterday rather than Wednesday night. Not a whole lot to talk about. Then at the end of this video episode, which is probably gonna be 3-4 parts, especially with this stuff from Wrigley. From Wrigley we have the 7th inning stretch. I believe I got the go-ahead, like the tying run in the 8th, and the winning run scoring in the 9th. I have some other footage. I'm not quite sure what I have, and I also have some pictures, so we'll see if I include that too. But we'll have some news. Chipper Jones had a press conference yesterday saying he's not going to be talking about retirement until after the season. So he had a press conference to say that he won't be having any more press conferences about possible retirement. So I guess that means he'll be playing throughout the rest of this season, and who knows about the next upcoming seasons. And then Ubaldo Jimenez, he is now 13-1 and dropped his ERA to a bloated 1.15 after having it under 1 for most of the entire season to start out with. So yeah, he went, what was it, 8 innings, I believe. He allowed 1 run on 8 hits yesterday with 4 strikeouts and 2 walks. And I believe he went 8 innings. I'm not positive on that, but he was really impressive in his outing yesterday. It's funny when I'm making fun of the fact that he's over an ERA of 1 with a 1.15. He, at this point, I say he easily probably wins 25 games this season. Maybe, I don't think he can win 30. I think it's just too improbable to get 30. I mean, depending on the Rockies' positioning for playoffs push later in the season, and really how many innings he's pitched and all that, and how good he looks towards the end of the season. If he's close to 30, I don't know, if Jim Tracy gives him some more shorter rest, like maybe instead of every 5, it's every 4 days. I don't think he'd go like a CC did, pushing Milwaukee to playoffs a couple years ago when he got traded and going like every 3 days for the rest of the season. At one point, it was crazy with that. I mean, if that ends up happening for the Rockies, I don't know, they might blow his arm out, but he might be, I easily think he'd get 25, but I think 30 might be just a little out of reach. It just seems so improbable. It really does. And then, yeah, yesterday's Cubs-A's game. It was the rubber match. And I saw Randy Wells pitch against Mr. Perfect Game, Mr. A-Rod Get Off My Mound, Dallas Braden. Last time I saw Randy Wells pitch, I've seen him 4 times. Once last year, I saw his major league debut when he got called up. That was kind of lucky, pure luck really. And 3 times this year. I believe he won his first start that I saw this year, and then he lost his last one. The one where he couldn't even get out of the first inning. He gave up 5 runs on 6 hits, 16 pitches, and was pulled without recording an out. So the first time he got an out in the first inning, it was, I applauded with Mr. Norman, who was with me. It was just, there was kind of like, oh no, here we go again moment leading off the game. The fact that Baker had a ball like tip off his glove as he's diving for it at the line, and it leads to a double. At that, I mean, just seeing him last couple starts, it's like, oh no, here we go again. But he gets out of it. Baker kind of makes up for his mistake, bottom of the first inning, with a solo shot to tie the game. But then there's some defensive miscues. Davis on a pitch out counts with the Cubs pitching out, steals second. Soto calls a pitch out, and he's going on the pitch out. He still makes it to second. Soto throws to second. Ball ends up in center field after a bounce, and he gets to third. It really hasn't been pleasant defensively for the Cubs. It really hasn't. It's been pathetically awful almost. But that I believe was the 7th inning, but the Cubs got out of it. But the A's took the lead. Actually, I'm trying to think now. A's tied it up in the 5th inning. And now I remember. Yeah, okay, what? Leading off the inning though, Mark Ellis hit a home run. Yeah, before the inning started, Randy Wells had over 100 pitches, or right around 100, and loosens him out. I'm thinking, I don't know if this is the smartest of moves. This just seems like the moment where something bad could happen. And on a full count, a ball is hit to the bleachers. And I'm like, oh, of course. But what's Lou do? He leaves them in. And it leads to like what I said with the steal and the error. He gets 2 outs. I remember what it was now. Actually, that was a totally different inning. But I remember. Ellis, who had tied the game, was trying to butt someone over, and on a 1-2 pitch. You know what? Now I'm starting to wonder. It's all blending together. A 1-2 pitch. Was it Wells? No. Okay. 8th inning. It's so confusing because these things happen. Okay. 7th inning, he gets out of it. He strands it. Andrew Kashner comes in the 8th. You know, now I'm totally flustered here in the fact that I'm trying to recall what happened, because that inning, that happened in 1 inning. I can't remember if that was Randy Wells or someone else. But then Andrew Kashner gets in the 8th and gets out of it. Cubs tied up with bases loaded, 1 out. Nady hits the sac fly, and the Soriano strikes out, so it's 2-2 after the 8th. Then the 9th. I'm thinking the 9th is where I was trying to go with Ellis trying to bump someone over with the Kashner on. It feels like it was Kashner, not Wells. On a 1-2 pitch, he bounces the ball in the dirt. It's in front of Soto, but guy on first gets to second, and then Ellis hits a ground ball that moves him to third, and he is on third with 1 out. Then Marmol comes in, walks the first man he sees, and I'm like, oh, please, just please get out of this. And then he gets Davis the ground out to end the inning after he gets pinch hitter to hit a sac, or no, not a sac fly, excuse me, a foul ball on the third base side, a little past the bag. It's caught by Castro, and the runner stays. Actually, both runners stay. The guy on first and guy on third. So yeah, that's it was. That kind of stuff is frustrating to watch in the game. It was killing me in person. It really was. It was awful. So yeah, in the 9th, on Soto walked. Castro bunted him over. Corey Hill pinched hit for Marmol. He is intentionally walked for the guy whose bobblehead day it was, Ryan Terrio. He was 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts at that point. He ends up drawing a walk with Fukudome, who pinched hit in the 8th inning. He stayed in to play right. He started to rally in the 8th, and he won the game in the 9th. Single to right, diving ball, seeing eye single, and everyone was happy.